Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to hover around the 31.5K level. What that means, we're going to take a look at that in the chart. Overall, some cryptos not really recovering. Bitcoin went up a little bit, really hardly noticeable, but some cryptos aren't really recovering at all. For example, Cardano moving further towards my target area between 30 and 55 cents. Solana as well. It recovered a little bit yesterday, but it already seems to be on its way down again. And yeah, it's a bit of a mixed picture, and obviously Terra Luna is not looking good at all. Not looking good at all. Before we start with the Bitcoin chart, I wanted to have a look, as we normally do it from time to time, just to take a look at the Fear and Greed Index here on lookintobitcoin.com. The Fear and Greed Index at the moment is 12. I think yesterday it was at 11, as you can see here. Yeah, and this is really, really low. What does that mean? That means that, in my view, we are really, really close to the end of the correction. We are really close, in my view. I mean, here back in June 21, we were also at 10. That was very close to the low. So what you normally see, when the low is not reached yet exactly, then it has been at least like that at some point in the past already here as well. On the way down, for example, in 2018, we were at 9, then it increased a little bit on the way down. And then, yeah, the low was 11 again. But you often see already a drop here as well. March 2020, you saw a huge drop here. As you can see, you don't even see those dots connected. I zoom in a little bit. You don't even see them on the higher time frame really, or when you zoom out, you don't really see them connected. So you see this long gap here, and that is some sort of a shock moment, yeah. And I don't know how to get back here. I think I need to leave it and go back in. So typically what you see a drop, and then when it still starts to drop, but it drops slower, then it can be that the Fear and Greed Index increases again a little bit, and that is the moment we're looking for. It's oftentimes the color change from fear or extreme fear to fear and then neutral that we're looking for, because it can indicate a reversal, as it happened here. We were at 11, then obviously we came down once more, and then this was in 2019, and then when the color changed, this would have been a good entry point. And this chart shows very well what I always say. You typically have a low, and then you get your first wave up, and then you get your corrective wave down, and then you make a higher low, and this is the moment that we actually wait for, because this is a really good confirmation that the low could be in. But yeah, here we have dropped significantly. The score is 11, which means extreme fear. There are really only fear and greed, the most basic emotions in financial markets, and of course also in the crypto market. 11 is really low. I think the lowest I'm aware of is 8, I believe. It might have been lower at some point. But what this just means is that everybody is now extremely fearful. And we should always do the opposite of what the masses do. Yeah, there have been very, very interesting quotes and studies about the fact that oftentimes the masses, yeah, most people together, when they act together, they make mistakes. Yeah, they are wrong. Usually the masses are wrong, and usually when you do the opposite of what the masses do, then you should be good. Yeah, again, I'm not telling you to buy, it's no financial advice, but for me also, I'm rather an anti-cyclical investor and trader as well. So when you see that you get extremely fearful, people get extremely fearful, then it's time for me to pay close attention to it and then do rather the opposite. So when everybody's selling, then actually to consider buying in, but only we're waiting for signals as well. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm already dollar cost averaging in at these prices, because I believe at some point here we are close to the low, and we can take a look at that in the chart. Overall here on the Bitcoin chart, we can see after we broke out of this bearish flag to the downside, that was it. And you had the bear flag here, the flag pole coming from all the way from the all-time high. And then you had this channel, this upward sloping channel, which I believe all the time would be bearish, which was right. And we have come down here to that 30K level now, very close to the low from July, to which I say that we need to get below it. Yeah, in such an expanded flat pattern, you want to get with your wave C, in which we currently are, within a wave 2. We want to get below it. And that's still what I'm waiting for. And I've sketched here a roadmap how we could get there. In addition to that, we had here this head and shoulders pattern that we fell below. What was the target for the head and shoulders? Let's actually just take a look at that for fun and add it to, oops, no. And let's add, so we take the height of that head, we add it to the breakout point, yeah, 13K. Okay, let's take that out fast. And then we've got the bear flag here. And however, I mentioned yesterday that there are two key support levels in that yellow area that I believe are very important. First of all, the 61.8% Fibonacci level, which is at 27K roughly, a little bit higher than that, 27.3, 27.4. And then in addition to that, we have the 200-week moving average in this area, which is here in yellow. And the 200-week moving average is currently at around 22K. And this is the moving average I've showed you already before on, I just need to think where we saw this moving average. Which indicator was it? Here, was it here? We can see it anyway on the 200-week moving average heat map, and you can see that really the price really never dropped below the 200-week moving average. I think even here, yeah, we dropped slightly below it in 2020 when COVID hit, but besides that, we didn't really drop below it. Maybe very slightly here in 2015, but most of the time we've really had very good support at the 200-week moving average, and that has been a good pullback moment for buyers historically, as you can see. If anybody bought here in 2012, when the 200-week moving average was $4, anybody bought Bitcoin could have sold at $1,100 a few years later. Here again, buying at $240, selling at 20,000, not too bad. Here buying at 5,000, selling at 61. And yeah, we're waiting for the buying moment at 22K. Now again, no guarantee that we are actually going to get there, but in my opinion, the chances are quite high. But hopefully, and I really say hopefully, and I mean that for many altcoins as well, hopefully we're not going to drop below 22K, because I think that would be a real washout in the crypto market and really separate the good projects from the, well, not necessarily bad projects, but from the projects that are not going to make it, yeah, that aren't going to make it. But let's go and take a look quickly at the imminent moves, shorter time frame. Here what we can see, and I better go to the 1 hour chart, we can probably see it better, or maybe just a 2 hour chart. Here you can see that we had on the radar this wave 2, we've come down in wave 3, we hit the target area here, we did overshoot it a little bit, or undershoot, it doesn't matter. We then retraced within the target area. You can see how very well we adhere now to this wave 3 target area, and we already showed you here, this is the target for the next wave, the retracement level from a wave 3 into a wave 4. We already reached the target area. You can see that actually here with this wick we came into it. We have here the fib levels, and the minimum that such a wave 4 needs to do is the retracement to the 23.6% level, and that is roughly at 32.2, 32.3K. Now we already got all the way up to 32.5. We could now go, ideally, that would be ideal, a little bit higher. I still expect that we could get to 33.7 roughly, because this is the 38.2% Fibonacci level, the most likely retracement level for a wave 4 based on the Elliott Wave method probabilities. And what we could have seen here, because a wave 4 has 3 waves, possibly we already saw here the wave A, this could have been the wave B, and this could be now the wave C, which could take us really into this area here. Now, there's no guarantee this is the case, but we also see a nice W pattern, so we could move a bit higher, could even move up all the way to 35K. Yeah, as I said, if we go above that, it would technically still be possible in a 4th wave, but we need to see. Yeah, we need to see. We've seen here the last wave 4 did go up a little bit higher than I expected. that last wave 4 did go as high that I thought we could actually break out of the channel. Now we didn't, so we just need to wait for the signal that we are reversing back down, and that would then be the next dip, in my opinion, will take us here into the target area in yellow between 20 and 29k. And I think in the next few days, possibly we already see a decision about if we're going higher than the target box here, then we need to think about an alternative. Then we could even see a little bit higher recovery before we drop down. But I also mentioned yesterday the low, technically the low could already be in, because we've only missed the low from June, July by $1,000. Yeah, and in such a volatile market, it would be possible that the low is now in. But to do so, we would need to really start to go to the upside now. Yeah, and I don't see it yet. I think what we see now is just a corrective move up before we dump down once more, and I see at least one more dump, one more move to the downside, and then any new low could be the low. We have then reached a target area. We have reached my target that I talked about back in in November already. So, you know, we need to be extremely vigilant here that the low could already be in. But I will make you aware as soon as I see a reversal here that would be more substantial than a normal corrective move up into a wave 4. So in case we see a first impulsive wave up, I will certainly make you aware. And as soon as the chances increase that the low could be in, I will make you aware. The next price target for the next larger wave up, yeah, will take us above 100k certainly. All right, so hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership and maybe even the trading course I'm currently publishing on the website morecryptoonline.com. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.